Good morning, welcome to route number 37 on my Wainwright challenge. Hopefully I'll knock 7 Wainwrights off today. I'm parked at Honister Quarry. The 7 are Grey Knots, Brandreth, Base Brown, Green Gable, Great Gable, Kirkfell and Fleetwith Pike. I'm walking with a very good friend of mine, Ian, and his dog Ruby. And Ian works for Adventure Peaks in Ambleside. He's a mountain guide, so I'm quite looking forward to picking his brains. The path rises very quickly straight from the car park. We're following this fence line and I think it's going to take us straight to the top of the first one, so quite easy navigation at the beginning. So the path does rise very quickly, which makes it hike at a nice pace. There's a car park at Honister Quarry, Honister Pass, and we're scrambling up here through this steep path. So we're still following this fence. There's more and more snow about. We've brought crampons and ice axes with us today under Ian's instruction. Not sure how bad it's going to get when we get up to just short of 900 metres, Great Gable. So we're following the fence line still. Hopefully the cloud will clear. It's been quite a good forecast today. So here we are at the top of Grey Knot. Great climb. Fantastic. It's a proper winter's day. It's still in February, on the back of 3 notable storms. Consequently we've got a lot of snow up here. Grey Knot. So we've walked off Grey Knots. We're still following this fence. I believe it's a Brandreth fence to the top of Brandreth, which you can just see ahead. Brandreth is just over 700 metres, so we've got another couple of 100 metres of ascent before we get to the height of Great Gable. Look at this frozen tarn here. That's Glaramara in the background. A fabulous shot. So there's a couple of cairns. It's quite a flat top. This isn't the top. The top of Brandreth is just over there, I believe. Just about make out the cairn ahead. So we'll head to that one. Make sure we bag the right one. So here we are at the top of Brandreth. Stan's got a friend walking with him today, Ruby. Brandreth. So we've just dropped off Brandreth and we're still following this fence line of posts. We're going to go to the underside of Green Gable, then we're going to hang a left, and then come back, retrace our steps, and then back Green Gable as the 4th Wainwright of the day. That's the plan anyway. You can see we're just getting to the colt now. It's about to rise again. So we're just looking up at Great Gable. Green Gable's over that way. And looking across, we've got a view all of a sudden. The clouds have cleared, and that's Kirkfell, which we'll be heading over later. Fantastic. So we've been following the fence lines up towards Green Gable. We've got to these cairns here, and there's a track doubling, bearing left and slightly behind us to Base Brown, which is over there. The chap just rising up the track we're about to take. So we're going to drop down to Base Brown, then retrace our steps back up to this point here. The clouds are lifting and we've got some absolutely stunning scenery. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. So that's Base Brown there where we're heading. So just dropping down this side here. It's nice soft snow, so we don't really need the crampons. And when we get to the head, we're going to turn around and come back. So bit of an out and back, but it's worth it. Helvellyn range in the background, and that's stunning. So here we are at Base Brown. Fantastic scenery. Need to scan round. So we came down off the col there, and that's Green Gable high up. So we've got to retrace our steps now and go back up there, and then we're going to head across up to Great Gable, and then we're going to head round. So we're back at the col, just about to head up the climb to Green Gable. Now looking across, the sun has come out, you can see Scafell and Scafell Pike. Obviously Scafell Pike's the one with the little knobble at the top. So we're back at the junction where we dropped down. Over there is a cairns, and there's a row of cairns you can see ahead going all the way to the top of Green Gable. Wow, so here we are, this is Green Gable. Looking back down, and the backdrop is Great Gable over there. Fabulous. So we're going up to Great Gable next. We'll drop down to Kirkfell. So we're just dropping off the Green Gable here down to the col known as Windy Gap. Now I have been on Windy Gap before, and it was definitely extremely windy, so it does have its name for a reason, although today isn't as bad. And then we're climbing up quite sharply to the top of Great Gable, which could be the 5th highest Wainwright in all of the Wainwrights, I believe. So we're on the underside of Great Gable now, probably about 100 metres of ascent, maybe 150, so it's not a huge ascent, but looking down at the bottom down there, that's Styhead Tarn down there. Now the last time I came up Great Gable, a lot of years ago, I walked up to Styhead Tarn and up to Windy Gap, as you can see down there. That was a lot of years ago. So it's a great path. We're having to kick footholds into the snow just to keep ourselves firm, on a firm footing. Not quite icy enough for the crampons, but quite a steep path, as you can see. So here we are. This is the top of Great Gable. Bit of a gathering up here. Now Ian's just been telling me that they still hold a Remembrance Sunday Day service up here every year. Remarkable. There you go. Ennerdale water down there. That we're just getting a view off the top of Great Gable. Now I was going to do a walk today along the other side of Ennerdale over to Pillar. I changed my mind to this one. So we're just dropping off of Great Gable now. It's quite a steep descent. It's a bit tricky, a bit icy. We're going to head over to Kirkfell. We're in and out of sunshine and cloud, but you can see Kirkfell quite clearly when the clouds aren't here. It's quite a technical descent really in this snow. It's not hard packed enough for crampons, it's very loose, but it's also extremely slippy. There's a group ahead that we just caught up to that are struggling down the side. So once we get into the col down there, we'll go up the other side, so it's quite a long descent. So I'm almost at the col now between Great Gable and Kirkfell. You can just see the other side of that little tarn, the footpath zigzagging its way up the side of the next one. It's been a very, very, very tricky descent, I have to say. Even without the snow, I think it'd be very scree, very slippy. So we're starting the steep ascent of Kirkfell. Now Ian's had a look at where I'd intended going, and he's changed my mind, let's say, on the route and plan. So we're going to go up here and retrace our steps back to this col and this tarn, and then we're going to follow the contour round over the top over there. Now I'd intended making it a big circular and dropping down into the valley to Black Sail and then back over the top. Ian suggests that there's a lot of climbing, so that's the new plan. So we've just got to the top of the steep section, and there's a spot height and a small drop to a col and a tarn, Kirkfell Tarn, and then Kirkfell at 802 metres is just in the cloud over there. So I initially thought this was the top, but it's not. The top is the other side of the tarn and then up again. Not so far to go. Well, there you go, the clouds have just cleared. We way down to this little col. There's the top, Kirkfell. Standing quite nicely up there. Beautiful scenery today. Yeah, Kirkfell at last. Big crowd of people. Hi guys.
Hello.
Enjoying the view. So we're going to retrace our steps. So we've been retracing our steps. We've got to the steep section again now, so we're going to drop down here carefully. Again, we've had a lovely line of fence posts to follow, so it's really made navigation easy. And we're going to follow these fence posts all the way down to the col, the tarn at the bottom. And then we're going to contour round to the last one of the day. So we're back at the col underneath Great Gable, and we're going to skirt round and contour round, and we're going to pick up a path called Moses Trod. So this has saved me descending back down to Blacksail and then climbing up again. So it saved a fair bit of descending and ascending. So here we go. So cutting across the moorside over there, you can see the Moses Trod path. Now Fleetwith Pike is the one in the distance on the end that we're going to, and then we're going to drop to back down to Honister. But I need to show you here, that's Haystacks. That's the last one that we're going to do in probably a couple of weeks' time. That'll be our last Wainwright, where Mr. Wainwright himself has scattered his ashes, of course. So that one's for another day, but it's visible, so it's worth pointing out. But we're heading this way over there. Hi Stanley. So we're contouring round now the other side. Great Gables up there in the cloud. We've just gone round this little buttress here, met up with another fence, so we're following this fence round. You can see Ian ahead following the fence line, and it's going to wrap around, cross that stream, and that's Moses Trod you can see over there just cutting up. So we're going to take Moses Trod, and it's going to take us all the way to the last Wainwright. This is a superb view, Ennerdale in all its glory, with haystacks and a high stile in the background. We're just trekking round here. There's a big cairn marking a split in the path here, and now that cairn gives you an option to drop down into Ennerdale. Now we're not, we're carrying on this smaller path here, and it will eventually meet up just around the corner with Moses Trod. I'm just looking ahead. There's a cairn on the horizon up there which we're not heading to, and there's a myriad of little sheep trods meandering up the fell side. Well, we're not going to that, we're going up Moses Trod, which you can just see the path bends round, and it skirts up the fell side over there. So that's where we're heading, so don't be tempted if you are ever here to go up to that point up there, because it's the wrong way. There's haystacks over there. So Fleetwith Pike from this angle looks more daunting than it looked earlier. I think it is the lowest one of the day. So we're going to continue down this fell side, around that buttress there, up to the disused quarry, and then skirt back up to the top of Fleetwith Pike. That's the plan. We've got plenty of daylight left, and I think it's only about a mile the other side, so no drama. Looking across where we've been today, a fabulous day. Fabulous day. We've just gone through the quarries. There's some piles of slag heaps, the old quarry works, and up at the top up there is Fleetwith Pike. That's the last Wainwright of the day. A great day out. So here we are at Fleetwith Pike, and I have to say it's not the highest one of the day, but it's certainly got the view of the day. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Now I have to say, in these conditions it's been a really tough day out. Not huge mileage, but very hard going on the old legs. So been over all them today. Awesome. So we're just heading off the top. I think we've got about half an hour's of daylight left. I think it's about a mile-ish, mainly downhill back to the quarry, so we should just about do it in daylight. Nice day. We didn't set off till 9:30 this morning, so lovely day. So we've been skirting along this ridge line coming off the top. We've just gone over the last brow, and as you can see down there, there's the quarry and the car park. So we'll probably just get back in daylight, so timed it to perfection. Been a great day. Hi, just like to point out that during the course of this video, and indeed during the summary, I refer to Great Gable as the 5th highest Wainwright. Well, it's not, it's actually the 7th highest Wainwright. Having checked the Wainwright book, I inadvertently not realise that Bow Fell and Great End are indeed higher than Great Gable. Hi, welcome to Route 37 of my Wainwright challenge. I walked this yesterday on Friday the 25th of February, where I parked at Honister Quarry, which was £5 for the day. Great car park, cafe there, shop, toilets. Really good place to start, really, since it's at the top of Honister Pass. So you know, you're starting at a reasonably high point. 7 Wainwrights, Grey Knot, Brandreth, Green Gable all seem to continue on from each other up the same hill, really. It's a kind of a stepped climb, following a fence line, the Brandreth fence. Now it's very steep initially, coming off of the car park, and then eases somewhat. Now halfway up, once you've got past Brandreth and you continue the climb up to Green Gable, where it starts ramping again, you come to a few cairns. That's the point where you kind of, it feels like you're doubling back on yourself, but you hang a left and you head back down quite a long way to Base Brown. Great viewpoint. But when you turn around and look back, you can actually see Green Gable and Great Gable up in the distance. What you've got to like reascend. So it's a bit disconcerting going down to come back up, but you know, it's something you got to do on this particular route. So you've got quite a stiff climb again up to Green Gable. Now once you get to Green Gable, you're dwarfed by Great Gable, which is a huge buttress, you know, like hovering over Green Gable, if you like. But you got to drop off Green Gable down to a little col known as Windy Gap, and then you've got the very steep ascent of the buttress of Great Gable. So you've got very steep ascent of the buttress, which is Great Gable. Very high mountain, 5th highest Wainwright, 899 metres, so you know you're quite high. You're only 15 metres off of Monroe. There's a series of cairns leading off of that down a very steep scree descent, extremely tricky underfoot. Now particularly today, or yesterday, with all the snow, very loose snow, wet, it was very difficult to descent down to the col before you start the ascent of Kirkfell. Now at the col you can see the path, a distinct path rising up Kirkfell, which is reasonably steep again, and we were in and out of cloud, so there's a couple of false tops, if you like, on the top of Kirkfell. Because I nearly fell foul of thinking the one top was the real top, and it wasn't. Nevertheless, we got to the top. Now at which point I initially had intended on continuing along and then dropping down the other side, right down to the valley to Black Sail, and then climb up the other side of Black Sail up to Fleetwith Pike. However, Ian, who I was walking with, I felt it'd be better to retrace our steps and drop back to the col and then try and contour around to pick up a path called Moses Trod. Now it probably maybe a mile or so longer, but it did save an awful lot of descent and ascent. So the jury's out whether it was any quicker, but potentially it was easier. Which is what we did. We retraced our steps back to the col. You got to start ascending up Great Gable a little bit until you see a quite distinct rock on your left hand side, where you can pick up the path which contours around to Moses Trod. Great views from that point. You're looking down Ennerdale, Buttermere. You can see haystacks, high raise. It's really great views contouring around. It's a bit of a trudge actually up to Fleetwith Pike. It's quite a long way around the Moses Trod, and then to kind of a high point, and then you got to drop again down into another little valley, and then you got kind of a pathless ascent up Fleetwith Pike. And it is reasonably steep, so when you get to the pike at the end, it's quite unexpected, the view, and it actually blew me away. I thought it was really great view. You're looking up straight down the Buttermere Valley, and you're also looking straight across and down the Ennerdale Valley with haystacks, high raise, and you can look beyond and you can see Great Gable. You can see pretty much where you've been that day. Stunning scenery, very worthwhile getting there. Now I have to say the day wasn't overly long. It was only 12 miles, but it was quite enduring. I think the weather with the loose snow just made it quite hard going, so by the time you get to Fleetwith Pike you really know you've done a walk. It took Ian and I 8 hours to get round, so that shows you how tough the day was. And there was 4,810 foot of ascent, so there's quite a lot of climbing in that walk, despite the high point that you start at. And I'd say the walk off of Fleetwith Pike isn't as straightforward as you might think. You've got to make sure you keep to the correct path, hugging the ridge top, if you like, until you meet up with the very distinct quarry path, which is still an active quarry. Absolutely fabulous day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Great company with Ian and Ian's dog Ruby. Ruby and Stan got on famously, and thoroughly enjoyed it.